I again. So, for everybody that's joining us for the first time, we've got the wonderful John Maybury, all the way from New Zealand, and I'm sitting here in Brisbane, Australia. I'm Juanita Z, and today we're going to be talking to you about the tools, tips, and tricks for going live. And John is an expert. John, I actually mentioned you on a clubhouse room last night, and I was telling people to come on in, come and watch, come and join us because you were one of the people at the social media conference you were the main person there that was going around and doing short video and doing interviews of everybody that was there, the speakers, getting testimonials, etc. So John knows his stuff when it comes to video, camera, lights, everything that you can think of. So John, welcome.
Well, thank you very much. It's always great to be here with you, Juanita, I think. And look, I'm a fan of video, and I think there's a lot of video coaches out there who are former filmmakers, right? So they know more about equipment than I do. But for the everyday small business or even medium-sized business owner who wants to show up on a camera, you actually don't need anything but your mobile phone. You can go to a DSLR, and I've had to work hard at the equipment because it's my weakest link. I'm really good at kind of creating content. I'm really good at presentation, and I'm really good at the distribution. But
right.
my weakest link has always been the equipment. But I'm so glad that today we're talking equipment because we've talked about in our previous live streams, if you want to go back and have a look at those, we've talked about marketing strategy, why go live in the first place. And then I think our first one, we kind of talked about lives in general, but today it's about equipment, right?
Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to it because, as you know, I've also set myself up and I've got all my equipment, but it has been a journey. It's not something that kind of happened overnight. So, and I'm still learning. Like I'm still learning as far as equipment. So I'm really excited to see what I'm going to learn from you today again. But I love what you said because when it's your weakness or and I don't hate the word weakness, but it's your area for development, and you can really delve into it, it's where you can actually become such an expert at it. So I do consider you an expert in this area, John, even though you don't.
Well, I do. Look, and particularly for the live stream, or particularly for the, I guess, interview equipment or home studio equipment.
Yes.
I've been geeking out on this. I love the technology and the fact that we can go live with you in Australia. And I mean, you could do that on Facebook for a long time, but now you can connect with multiple social media channels and go live once. I remember years ago, Gary Vaynerchuk saying, just create one piece of content, right? Go create one piece of content, go do a keynote speech, and then chop that up into bite-sized pieces forever and a day, and then you've got enough content for a month. Maybe not for Gary Vaynerchuk style, but you've got enough for the everyday small business owner. Then you've got enough videos, you've got quotes, you've got blog posts, and that's what I love about lives is you go live once, and then you can chop up that video into little bite-sized pieces. You can turn it into blog posts, but I get it that most people want to look professional before they go live. I mean, I'm sure you've seen some dreadful videos that people have posted on LinkedIn. There was no audio, the lighting's crap, they're almost silhouetted, they're in an echoey room, they've given no thought to the production, and still people go, oh my God, Juanita, that was really amazing. What a great video. Whereas, and so it really is perception. It's like one person's professional is another person's pretty average. So, and this is where it's like, I used to kind of say, for kind of teaching people about doing video, it's about your message, not the production.
Yes.
And it really is. But unfortunately, there are people who are perfectionists or want to be perfectionists. And well, I mean, some people will never go live. Some people will never create. And I get that too. But for those people, like, okay, I've got to have the right gear. What is the right gear? You know, you really don't. All you need is yourself and a camera, or yourself and a mobile phone, for you to record a video. And today we're going to talk about really the 3 or 4 main things you're going to need to have to go live. And I'm going to give you some comparisons, some options for you, some pricing. It will be in New Zealand dollars, but Australia, you just take off a couple more dollars, I'd imagine, right?
Yeah, I think it's pretty close anyway at the moment, the exchange rate. So, yeah, it should be around about the same in terms of equipment.
And of course, there are so many, this is the tip of the iceberg. There are so many cameras. There's so many microphones that you can get. And so just do your research. But, we're going to talk about the main ones today.
Oh, that sounds amazing, John.
And we're also going to talk about some wardrobe too, I understand. What do we wear?
Well, we said we're doing tools, tips, and tricks. Before we go into all of the wonderful stuff, we've got Anna McKinley, and she said this is such a great topic. It's a very timely, but she does have another meeting, so she's going to come back and watch the replay. So if you're here and you're watching, please in the chat type hello, tell us where you're from. We'd love to know that you're here. And then for those of you that are coming back and watching the replay, please hashtag replay. I've had so many people, John, that have said, I'm coming back to watch this replay. This is so timely. I love this topic. I need to know more. So, yeah, absolutely. I think people are going to totally get it and love it. And for those of you, as I said, in the audience, please, and if you've got a question for John or for myself, type it into the chat and we'll answer. We'll put it up on the screen and we'll answer your question. So with that said, John, shall we get started? And yes, we are going to talk, I think, if we talk about the equipment, let's talk about green screens as well, things like that. I'm sure that's part of the equipment. Let's talk about whether you have a, what you're wearing. So what difference does that make, if anything? And we can pop in and also talk about whether you have a backdrop or whether you just go natural and normal. Hello, Robert. Welcome. Lovely to see you. And
Isabel from Maryland, United States of America. Whoa. I love you.
Whoa. That is amazing. So, yes, we've got Kathy from Melbourne, Australia. So welcome as well. All right. So we've got a few people sitting and I hope that they're going to ask a lot of questions. John, I am going to hand over to you to start with the equipment.
Okay, let's dive in. Now, I haven't got anything about green screens, but I'll give my opinion on green screens. On that one, did I leave you, or I'm on full screen? There we go.
You're on full screen.
I'm on full screen. You can do that on Restream, can't you? You can do that. You do that. So I'm just going to share my screen and talk about some equipment here. Does that come up?
Yes, absolutely. So do you want me to put that on full screen for you, John?
Yeah, you can put that on full screen. That'd be lovely. So first of all, we're going to talk about platforms because you can't really go live. You can go live on Facebook just from the Facebook app or the Facebook platform. But when you want to go live on LinkedIn, you need a third-party platform. And I've been doing a bit of research. I have StreamYard, and I know, Juanita, you're using Restream. And what I love, look, StreamYard is a great platform. It's probably the leading platform, I would say. I don't have any statistics on which one has more subscribers or more paid clients, but they've both got a free option, so you can go live. So if you have access to LinkedIn Live, and if you're a content creator or a content studio, you can obviously do that. But of course, it comes with you've got to go live with Restream or StreamYard branding, and I kind of, from a marketing standpoint, I kind of want to own that stream myself. What I've been doing is I do LinkedIn Live interviews for clients. I find that a lot of a lot of clients or students who go through my programs get stuck and they don't complete. So I kind of offer them a LinkedIn Live, and that way it's just so much easier. I get to ask your questions that you've prepared, but then what I'll do is I can chop out that live. I can chop out the 16:9 frame from that side by side, and what I love about both the platforms is they have a full HD output. That's a full 1080 file that you can pull out. So the production quality is just going to be better. It's better than 720. It's better than 480, of course. But I think a lot of the platforms say, yeah, we can go live, but it's also about the quality of the output file or of the recorded file. StreamYard is really easy to use, and yeah, $49 American for no branding, and you can connect 3 social media channels. But
before you go on there, John, just apologies for the interruption. Why is the output file so important, the quality of the output file? Can you talk a bit more around about that for a few seconds?
Sure. I think if you're going to reuse your content or repurpose your videos and you're going to cut that out, you want to, it's a bit like if you've ever recorded yourself on Zoom, the picture quality is pretty crap, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of probably like a 480 file, and you want better quality production. And this is what, this just wasn't possible live streaming almost 12 months ago to get a full HD file, that is broadcast quality. Right. And I think, people like good quality production. I mean, it's certainly, I've come up against it. If you're shooting a video on your mobile phone 2 years ago, it was probably going to be less than perfect. And this is where a lot of video production people, it needs to be perfect. Well, actually, it doesn't need to be perfect, but it's better than 720. It's better than 480. Full HD 1080 file is going to improve the professionalism of your brand.
Right. Gotcha.
In the restream space, yeah, I've been watching some YouTube comparisons, and what I love about it is they really have added more features to Restream over the last 12 months. And I've even gone on and had a conversation with StreamYard in Australia and kind of talking about, how can I add more seats? How can I add more clients into my platform? And there's certain limitations. So StreamYard, really well known, but Restream seems to be the bolter in the pack, and is the one that I'd be looking forward to using. Again, they both have great overlays, brand colors. We can share our screens, we can do all that kind of stuff. But what I love about this one is with Restream, the guest. So you created this live stream.
Correct.
Juanita,
yes.
And you set up the link, you put up the live stream platforms puts the link or puts an event on LinkedIn and Facebook and all those places where you can invite people. You can invite your connections to the event, so long as that's a forward event. Generally the window is 7 days. You can't live stream, or you can't schedule a live stream more than 7 days out. So, but the fact that when I log in via your invitation link, I can add all of my channels and go live on my channels.
I know. So
I'm going live on 6 channels. Sorry, I'll say that in Australian terms. I'm going live in 6 channels. That's right. I'm going live in my personal Facebook, my business page, my Facebook group. I'm going live on Twitter. I'm going live on YouTube, and I'm going live on LinkedIn.
Isn't that amazing?
And you can, obviously, the more money you pay, the more platforms you can go live on. You can go live 30 to 50 channels from a business subscription. But then, and one of those business subscriptions is you can go live streaming into a website. Now, this is just super cool from a marketing standpoint. I know that you'd love this, Juanita. Suddenly, you can send an email out to your list, and you can say, "Hey guys, I'm going live in my blog next Tuesday. Here's a date. Book it in with your website links, etc." And you're bypassing social media altogether. That's already your people going live into your website. Yeah, there's a little bit of code. You're probably going to need to talk to your web developer or your IT specialist and say, how do I do that? But it's doable, it's possible. And that's what I love about the opportunity with live streaming, is it just gives you so much more places where you can go live. Again, comparable pricing on Restream versus StreamYard, $49 per month, but you can connect more social media channels.
Well, here's a quick tip, and then we've got a wonderful question from Isabel. If you can wait to generally when the sales are on, especially the Black Friday sales, you can get these platforms really, really at a really reasonable rate as well. All right, John, Isabel is in the audience, and she has asked you a question as to what are your thoughts on OBS?
Oh, God. I don't know enough about OBS.
I've used it. So
okay.
yeah, believe it or not, I also play around and try and find out, what's working and what's not working, etc. I think OBS is great, but I think that it is for the average person that is not that is a technophobe or is not technologically savvy. I think OBS is a little bit convoluted for that. I mean, it's a great platform, but if you want simplicity and ease, I think StreamYard or Restream are both much easier from a technology or from somebody that wants to go live and is already like a little bit nervous and panicky about just using the technology, because the technology is what puts most people off. They go, I'm okay to go live. I mean, I'm already maybe a little bit nervous, but I'm okay to try it. But I don't know how to use the technology. So OBS is honestly, it is a great, but it is more convoluted than these two.
Yeah. And look, there are other channels. There's lots of other places you can go live into. I know that Restream does connect with OBS, and it connects to Zoom, but I need to do some more research as to why would you do that? At the end of the day, I just want simplicity, right? Like you said, I just want the ease of logging in and saying, okay, great, we're going to create an event, and then we're going to invite some people, and then we invite them via a special guest stream. Most of these you can, I think Restream and StreamYard, you can have up to 10 guests. And you can move frames around, and it's just like having a big Zoom conversation with all sorts of different people. But for most people, they'll go live with 2 people, generally speaking, and have that conversation. So
I think the reason for that, John, is because I think people still don't. Again, it comes back to the technology. So the clients that I've spoken to find out why they go live through Zoom. Is because they, first of all, don't think that there's going to be a recording. So Zoom for them is kind of a comfort zone for the recording space. They know that they're going to get that recording. And the difference, I think, between this and Zoom is obviously Zoom, you can record to the cloud and you can record on your computer. We're here at the end of the live, you can downstream, you can download onto your computer. And I think that's one of the differences, and just from the conversations that I've had with people about why they would do that or why they would use Zoom. And also I think, they don't realize that on these platforms you can share screens like we're doing at the moment. So this is John's screen that he's sharing, and then I can make it a full screen. I can take it out, and you can see us on the site because we're chatting at the moment. But there's so much that you can do on the platform directly, and it's just getting used to it. I think it's getting used to the technology.
Yep. Let's get on to more technology, shall we? You need to have a streaming platform, and then you need to have a webcam. You need to have a webcam, all right? Now, I'm not going too much into cameras because I'm not, I just want to know that the camera's going to look good. Now, a standard, again, we're talking cameras that these are 4K cameras, but both of these are 4K cameras, and the picture quality is just so much better.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, you can, my background, you've got some depth. You can actually see that I've got things on my bookcase over here. I'm on a Logitech Brio now, and that costs $350. And the Razer Kiyo is a little bit more. Well, it's a little bit more expensive. The Razer Kiyo, as I understand, has a little has a white light, like a ring light, which works really well, but it doesn't work so well with people who wear glasses.
Yes.
So that would be the only consideration.
Oh.
Because it really is. You can, I know. You can imagine. You can imagine, because you've got a ring light in front of you, right? Do you want to give us a little short demonstration, or you want to take it off full screen so we can see you a little bit clearer?
Oh, you want to see my face, do you?
I want to see your little ring light on your glasses.
Oh, you want me to bring the ring light in? Oh, okay. So
there you go. There it is. There it is. There it is. See, and again, it's.
Yeah. So my setup. So just for everybody to know, my setup. I've got the 2 ring lights on the side, and a ring light in front of me. But the ring light in front of me hangs down, because if it was directly in front of me, it would be totally shining onto my glasses. I do have to adjust the side ring lights so that it doesn't catch the glasses. But the one thing that I will say, so not to get too hung up about this, you can see the backdrop that I'm using. I've got a little bit of so I'm using a backdrop and John isn't. And I've got a bit of a window in my backdrop. And the reason why I'm using a backdrop, because if you looked at my setup, I've got a full green screen at the back over here. And my chair has a green screen. You can see I'm pulling this. This is a piece of material, which is a green screen material over the chair, so that it catches everything. But I'll show everybody, because if you can see, I've got unicorn lights. Everybody loves those. They're my unicorn ring lights. And they sit over here. And what I was saying, John, is if people get a little bit hung up, if you've got a backdrop with a window, if there is a bit of a reflection then, and you can't quite get rid of it on your glasses, as long as it's not a full ring-like reflection. So if it's a bit of a reflection like that, can you see how this one here has got the reflection? It's okay, because it's almost like the window is reflecting, and that the sun is actually coming into the window and reflecting. So it can actually be an advantage if you've got the right backdrop for you. Yeah.
And look, I've always been a fan, Juanita, of, I used to do filming clients on a green screen. And it was great, because you get to have all sorts of moving colors, and editors are wonderful people. They can do incredible things. So, but I'm a fan of a natural background now, because I think after this whole pandemic thing, we're kind of used to doing a Zoom. I think we want to see what is behind people, and I get it. It's okay if you've got a messy, tidy living room, then you need to tidy it up. You need to kind of create your backdrop. What does that say about your business or brand? But it's not about, for me, it's not about just putting some images up on the screen that says, here's what I do, here's my number, here's come buy my stuff. It's like, nah, it's about building some reason, what's the word I'm looking? Resonation. No, that's not a word.
Resonation.
Yeah, building that for your clients. And I think people, I've got my little award, I've got my hole-in-one golf ball, I've got a tennis trophy that I won on the weekend, I've got my obviously bookcase. It says I'm up to some stuff in my life. And
yeah.
People they look behind you and they go, what is that? What is that thing? So that's what I love. Anyway, back to the.
Let's stay on here for a second, John, because you said a whole lot of things there, and I do want to do some reassurance with people as well, because this is a preference, so there's no right or wrong with it. John's telling you what his preference is, and there isn't a right or a wrong with it. In fact, John, at the moment, from a backdrop point of view, Mine is probably a bit more sharper than yours is. um, hold on. Isabel says on my end the screen is black. What do you mean by that, Isabel? Which screen is black? Okay, I'm just going to wait for Isabel to tell me what it means. Is it John's screen that's black or my screen that's black? That'd be good to know. But it like for me, my place is extremely tidy, but it's a smaller little unit, and if I put my camera somewhere, my laptop somewhere, it just is it doesn't work for me. There's no like what you've got, and you've got the depth and everything else looks really, really nice. Isabel is saying that she can't see us. She says that she can't see.
But she can hear us. She can hear us. So
well, there we go. Okay, so Isabel, go out and come back in again, because it might just be a little bit of a glitch from that side, but it is interesting that she can't. Okay. She says the whole streaming is black. That is very interesting.
Well, okay.
All right. So we'll which is a bit of a shame, because we're actually talking about backdrops and things like that now. So it is important for people to actually see us. Yes, it could be the phone, Isabel. So what you need to do is swipe your phone. If you swipe it, you should be able to see us then. So just do a swipe to the right, and then there we go. Yay, she can see us. Okay. So Kathy Kenyan, Kathy, I'm sorry if I'm Kathy Kenyan. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name incorrectly.
Go ahead. I'm sure.
Kathy Kenyan.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. So the backdrop for anybody that's on here, it is a preference. So don't get yourself tied up. If you feel like you want to have a backdrop, have one. But you'll see that mine, I think, choose your backdrop. If you are going to have a backdrop, so if I speak from this perspective, is choose your backdrop very carefully. Mine is chosen carefully. And the reason why it's chosen carefully, so here's a few things if you're choosing a backdrop. Just make sure that, because green with a green screen obviously will come through a little bit weirdly, and you'll see when you have anything majorly green. But having a little bit of green in the backdrop is not a bad thing, because it makes it look Karthik. Thank you, Karthik. It makes it look natural. So if you have a little plant or something in your actual image, it does make it look a little bit natural. And then you can see I've chosen with the with a little bit of a window, so it looks like there's a bit of light coming in, which then is forgiving, and also making sure that the colors are not too dark, or if I wear something darker, that I'm not just then a talking head on the actual screen. So their backdrop is exceptionally important if you are using it. And remember, it goes to brand. So whatever you want to portray as your brand, make sure that you're doing that as well. So choose a backdrop that portrays your brand.
Indeed.
Back to you, John.
Okay, I've probably got a couple more things to talk about, and that is audio. We look briefly at the cameras, and we can share these slides in the comments. So we're about to do that afterwards. So let's just go back to the share screen and look at some microphone options. So I'm on the microphone that I'm using at the moment is on this nice little radio arm, etc. It just attaches to any desk, it just winds on, and then you attach the microphone. The good news is you can move that completely out of the way, and it's just there is a great tool, and obviously you sound good, right? This is an Audio-Technica AT2020. I purchased it for around about $400. I think about $250 now. The Blue Yeti, you see the one on the left. Again, you can have it on a desk stand, or I really like the Rode Podcaster. They're the ones that I know they're on the AM show. I think they probably use the main microphones used in most radio stations. So it's broadcast quality. You're going to sound good. But if you want microphone on a budget, all you need is a nice little USB microphone like this, a lapel. And it's a Saramonic microphone. It's just $65, and it's going to pin. You're going to connect it through your laptop or through your PC, and you're going to attach it on your person, and that's going to be better than nothing. Okay, and that's pretty much webcams. The mic on a budget. We talked about the platforms. You can use alternative webcams. You can use a GoPro, and there's a whole bunch of attachments. So you can attach the GoPro to your top of your laptop, or to your monitor, or if you really want to go fancy, you can mount your DSLR camera. There's a few little mounting challenges. I've got some solutions for that, but it's just really is picture perfect. Having, that is the same DSLR camera that I've got, and it really is a great tool. What are you using for your webcam?
I've actually got the Logi, so the Logi webcam,
Logitech,
yep. And then I have, so if I show you, I have
the Yeti.
The Yeti. And actually, to be honest, John, I would say sound quality is important. So it would be the thing that I would invest in first, because most cameras on laptops can do the job initially, but then later on I would definitely invest in an external camera, because the external cameras also kind of move around with you as well if you've got them. So for me, the Yeti is probably it's a really good microphone to start with as well. And I think this one was about, when I bought it, was about 250 or so.
Yeah, and look, I'm also a fan of using equipment that you can multi-use in other locations. So if you are ever thinking of going and doing some podcasting, audio podcasting, it's very important that you know what you sound like. So you want to make sure that the microphone that you've got has a audio input jack. And why do you need to have headphones? Is simply because you need to know what you sound like. You need to know if you or you are. So then once you're aware that you do that, if you do, if I'm just chatting away here, I don't actually get to listen to myself. God, I am so bald, aren't I? Wow.
Is that your Alice band?
And I probably like the sound of my own voice, because I know I've trained my voice over the years, and I want to make sure that I sound good. I sound as professional as I can be. And I know when people jump on a Zoom with me or jump on a live stream, they go, "Oh my God, look at your setup." And it's like $70, $240. Admittedly, I bought them $700 about 10 years ago, and a webcam, $350. That's it. Yeah. And you are looking fantastic.
Absolutely. And so everybody will notice that I don't wear the headsets. And just to say this to you, I absolutely agree with John on that. I think if you're wearing the headset, it does have that noise cancelling kind of effect. And that means that you are genuinely listening to yourself. So if you put your hands over your ears and just do this, you can hear whether you sound okay or not, and whether your volume is right, etc. We used to do this in communication training, is make people put their hands over their ears so they could actually listen to how they sound.
Yep.
The only reason why I don't wear, and it's not, it's got nothing to do with vanity or anything like that. In fact, I look really pretty with Alice bands, and I wear them all the time.
It's your hair.
It's really it's actually to do with anything on my ears and things like that. After a while, I feel very uncomfortable with the pressure on the ears. So for me, it's then more, if I know that I'm going to be doing a longer live, it's more the comfortableness for me, and I can hear myself fine now. So I know how I sound. I know what, I know that I have my word that I use when I'm nervous, and I know, because I know it, I catch myself when I'm doing it, and then I can stop and go, okay, I'm doing that word, stop, and recalibrate. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't know what the nervous word is or their nervous tick is, and the headphones do help with that, because it does really hone in on what you're saying. So I would say wear them.
And getting some, again, you know, if you obviously personal preference, but if you're getting some good, headphones, I'd recommend AKGs. They're kind of the ones they use in all the broadcast studios.
Yeah.
AKG headphones. There's some of the Sony or Panasonic ones are good as well. So generally noise cancelling, broadcast quality.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what about wardrobe? You're gonna, because you're at the moment your yellow and blue on-brand dress top thing. It's sparkling. It's sparkling.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? It's beautiful. And yeah, so that's what I did want to say is, if you are coming on and wearing anything on camera, just check it beforehand, so that if it is, because sometimes, especially if you've got a backdrop with a green screen, your wardrobe can actually sparkle when it's not supposed to, or have it'll almost look like it's going right through you, depending on the colors that you're wearing. So it'll look like there's holes in your dress in the colors that you're wearing. So wearing solid colors on camera does help. It definitely does help. And I even said, John, that I would do a whole wardrobe change here on camera, so nobody gets excited about this. You know,
you're taking your clothes off. Are you putting?
Oh no. Nobody has to get excited about it. But if I did just do this, and you can see while I'm doing this, there's a bit of a sparkle through here. But if I did just do this here, look at me now. I'm completely disappeared. Now, this wouldn't ordinarily happen. I think it's because it's the one over the other one. But if this does happen and I look much slimmer, so I actually like this. But if this does happen, this is why before you go live, check everything. So sit down, check what things look like. If this is happening, this has got to do with lighting. So if you're seeing this stuff here, where it's going through, it's got to do with lighting, and you do have to then adjust your lights on each side of you. So that's purely a lighting thing.
Yeah, I literally am facing the light. I have the window to my balcony. Yeah. I use natural light wherever possible. Just makes it easier.
For me, because so one of the things that I use over and above this, I actually use another app over and above this, which is really, really cool. And that app is called XSplit. And I absolutely love it, because I can really, on my own screen, switch and change. I can have things at the back of me, etc., when I'm talking. So if I went full screen like this, for example, and I did, for example, you can see that I've shifted and moved over to the side. So I can shift myself on this app, and I can put little things behind me and on my shoulder, and all sorts of wonderful things. But that's an extra layer over what we're talking about now, which is really, really cool. Yeah. Somebody wants to borrow my top. I need to shed a couple of I'll be selling these on eBay. Oh, actually, you know what, John? I think I've just created a whole business with my top.
With your sparkling top. As I did say to you before we went live, you look sparkling, and you've always been sparkling wherever I've seen you.
Oh, you're a darling. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
But I think, that is, try and keep your equipment as simple as possible. I didn't even touch on lighting. You can get some box lighting is probably easier, or you can spend thousands of dollars on making yourself look perfect, when in fact you can do so, as I said, with all this equipment. You can do that on a budget of $600, $700, excluding the headphones, and that's really all you need to go live. And if you need to shed a few pounds as well, or kilograms if you're in the southern hemisphere, then you can always stand further away from the camera. right? There we go. Suddenly I've just got thinner. But I've always been a fan of, a little bit at the top of the head. The head needs to be in the top 2/3 of the frame, not down here, sort of somewhere up there.
Yeah.
But most importantly, when you go live, I think the heads need to be on a similar plane. So you could either change that by, obviously, I just lower my chair. There's lots of different options. I like aesthetically pleasing to the eye, easy to watch. Right?
Absolutely.
You don't want to give people an excuse to go, I'm really upset by the fact that John Mabry is a different height to Juanita. I'm going to click off, right? I'm going to stop watching this because something's in the way of their learning.
Yes.
And we want to remove all those barriers and make you look as good as you possibly can be. Well, we could talk for hours on this. 40 minutes. We're already 20 minutes over our
I think people just
suggested
love
length.
this. I think people just love this stuff. But John, just I know we're going to end now. I just want to say that if you do have a guest on, just check with each other whether you can move or can't.
Yep.
And so because one person might have to adjust for the other person. Like, for example, this is my wall here. So I'm literally sitting on my wall.
You're tapping that painting. You're tapping the painting.
I'm tapping my.
Yeah.
It's so weird when you've got that. But I can move forward like this if I wanted to, but it would be, it would have to be the kind of adjustment. So when John came on and he was sitting like that, I've moved back just a little bit to try and match and adjust to John, but I can't do much more than that. That's about the best that I could do. But then I'm off the whole. I'm too far out. Yeah, there's too much space. So you definitely want to have yourself in and, your face into the camera a little bit more than this. All right, John, with that said, we do have to get going. So thank you so much, everyone.
It sounds like the dog has said it's time, Mummy. I need to go for my walk. Next week, back to a topic of yours. What's the next thing we need to talk about going live? What are we going to do next week?
Well, you know what? We have been speaking through all of our lives. Hold on a second, John. Maxie, stop. This is what happens on lives, which is pretty cool. Max, come here. Quickly. Come on. Quick. Come to mommy. Quick. Come on. Quickly. Oh, there we go. Quickly. There we go.
Hi, Max. Max got all sparkly too.
He did. He got really sparkly on here. With the one thing we've been speaking about quite a lot are the nervous little things that happen when you are on a live, and maybe we can talk through all of those and how we control them and how we get to know what they are and what we need to be doing to recognize so that we can have some really seamless lives. And there are about 7 of them that people end up doing. We call them unconscious biases.
Sure. Let's talk about those unconscious biases. I love them.
So
that's okay.
Great. Thank you. All right, everyone. We'll speak soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.